My name is Mahlatse Lekoloane, and I'm a facilitator for today. So we'll be doing the standard 116931 from the POE section. So topic for today was all about the internet, how to connect to the internet, and who connects you to the internet. So let's do the knowledge questionnaire or the summative assessment together. So I've answered it the way I think is the correct way. So let me just share the screen with you while I read the first question. So the first question says, what is the World Wide Web? So the World Wide Web is basically an information systems that is information system that is on the internet, which allows documents to be connected to other documents by hypertext links, enabling the other user to search for information by moving from one document to the other. So by one document, maybe, in other words, one web page to the other web page. And the second question says, explain what is an ISP. So an ISP is an internet service provider, which is an organization that provides services to accessing, using, or participating in the internet. So internet service providers can be organized in various forms, such as commercial, community-owned, non-profit, or otherwise privately owned. And then the third question goes like, explain what a URL is. So if you've noticed that the first question, the second and the third one, they are very similar, because firstly you need a URL, which I'm about to explain. A URL first, then an ISP to connect to the World Wide Web, as you'll see just now. So a URL is a uniform resource locator. So it locates the resource whereby you have to reach the World Wide Web. So chronologically termed a web address, which is the World Wide Web. So, which is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving. The URL is a specific type of uniform resource identifier. Although many people use the two terms interchangeably. So the fourth question says, explain the structure of the following URL. So just explain what a URL is. So URL, so you see it's an HTTP, then a semicolon, 2 forward slashes, www.google.co.za. So at first, get the HTTP. So even if you don't type the HTTP, the semicolon and double slash, it will automatically be there by default, because it was set to be there to transfer the protocol for you to connect to the World Wide Web. So we have the WWW, which already discussed. .google. Google is the domain. It's .co.za. So .co.za is an extension of South Africa. So let's start. And when I explain it the way I've answered it in details. So HTTP is the hypertext transfer protocol, which is an application layer protocol for transmitting hypermedia documents such as HTML. So HTML is hypertext markup language, which is used to develop websites. So websites are what we use to connect to the World Wide Web, which is the WWW. So it was designed for communication between web browsers and web servers, but it can also be used for other purposes. So as you can see, this thing says google.com. So when you type in google.com, the web server knows there's something called an IP address. So you can't see the IP address because what you must see is the text that we can understand. So IP address, such as this is an example of an IP address. This one is a loopback. The loop address. So just for testing purposes, loopback address. So it works anytime, anywhere. So this is an example of an IP address. An IP address is hidden by the servers, by the web servers, because you won't understand what you do. So you understand what when you type www.co.za as human. So computers and machines understand the IP address. So when we move to Google, Google is the world's most popular search engine. But I think it's true because most people use Gmail. So Gmail is from Google Mail. So we believe it's the world popular search engine. So the co.za domain homepage contains pertinent and detailed information specific to South African domain registrations, as I mentioned before. Because co.za is South Africa. So number 5 is explain what a web browser is and what it does. So a web browser takes you anywhere on the internet. It retrieves information from other parts of the web and displays it on your desktop or mobile device. The information is then transferred using the HTTP, which defines how text, images, and videos are transmitted on the web. So we must give 2 examples of web browsers. So Google Chrome is one of them. So you believe when they say Google is the most popular search engine. It also has a web browser, which is called Google Chrome. I also use Google Chrome. So the second one will be Firefox by Mozilla. It's a Mozilla Firefox. So the next question says, what do search engines do? A search engine is a software program that helps people find the information they are looking for online using keywords and phrases. Search engines are able to return results quickly, even with millions of websites online, by scanning the internet continuously and indexing every page they find. So let's give 2 examples of search engines. Google, the first, which is popular, as we read above and discussed. So the second one is Yahoo. Number 9, what is a cookie and what does it do? So a cookie is something that has to do with the internet when you log into a web page. So my explanation says computer cookies are small files, often including unique identifiers that web servers send to browsers. These cookies can then be sent back to the server each time your browser requests a new page. It's a way for your website to remember you, your preferences and your habits online. Number 10, what is an internet cache? A web cache is a system optimizing the World Wide Web. It is implemented both client-side and server-side. The caching of images and other files can result in less overall delay when browsing the web. So a cache is similar to a cookie. It's can let the computer remember you the next time you log into a web page. And I think for now we'll pause on to the this is the first session. So we have done 10 questions from our summative assessment. So let's do the okay. In the next video, I'll do the rest of the questions because they are too long. So they need more time to record and need some quiet space. It's been a busy 10 minutes outside. It's a Friday. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. My name is Mahlatse Lekoloane, your end user facilitator. Thank you for taking your time to watch the video. This video is brought to you by Sakisizwe Projects.